the result is you will grow. There's so many different tools out there that can help you in your business. But if you haven't done this process before, and if I have a process, I need a document, it has to be out of my head, because if it's in my head, guess what? Everyone comes to you to ask you questions because, hey guys, welcome to the Painter's Circle, where we help painting business owners scale their operations, increase profitability, and gain more time freedom. I'm Taz Mullis, and in this podcast, I'll share actionable tips, expert strategies, and real-world insights that'll help you grow your painting business without burning you out. Ready to take your painting business to the next level? Let's go. Oh. Hey guys, trust you super well. It's Taz here again, and we're at the Painter's Circle podcast. Now, you may have thought about this. I know I get inundated with this question, but guys come to me and go, hey Taz, I need some help with my systems. So let me just break that down for you. Your business, your entire painting business is the system, okay? So this is how I define it. Your entire business is the system. Now, that system is made up of multiple processes. Workflows, if you want to call it workflows, a series of activities that happen that stack on top of each other or run concurrently with each other to form part of his entire system. So please don't get bogged down or get stuck into a rabbit hole or chase a silver bullet thinking that there's some magic system that's going to save you. There might be, but I want to give you the easiest way forward so you can fix the problems that having lack of processes have. Because predominantly, if you are duplicating things, you've got multiple people doing the same thing, everything is unpredictable and you're feeling overwhelmed, more than likely, you don't have a clear process. You don't have clear workflows, and you definitely don't have an entire system. So in your painting business, I want to break it down real simple for you because from beginning to end, there's a lot of workflows, processes that make up that system. A lot. Even if you don't have tech, there's a lot. You have your input, so everything to do with sales and marketing. So the processes of sales, quoting, relationships, email marketing, phone calls, how you handle the calls, how you book the calls in, what happens on site. Everything to do with sales and marketing, there is going to be a process of how you do it, okay? After the decision is made, so the client says yes, no, or maybe, we'll go with yes. Even with no, if the decision is no, there's going to be a shorter list of activities, but you want to cancel the job, close it, file it, find out the reason why they didn't go with you, and maybe put it in your calendar system to touch base with them in 6 or 12 months. So that's a short process. The long process would be job gets accepted. So from that point, it's going to trigger a series of activities. Confirm the job, send a contract, get a deposit, schedule it in your scheduling system, assign a team, work out job budget hours, target hours, put it in the system, get colors sorted. So much has happened even before you actually rock up the site. So there is a process there. Then on the back end, you'll have processes while you're doing the job, so scheduling and delivery. Then on the back end, output, there will be some processes there. Payroll, timesheets, invoicing, everything to do with business administration, there's a ton of processes there. So you can already see from the beginning of your business, from when a client comes in as a lead all the way to the end as a completed job. And once it's done, it's not really done. You want to have a reminder system every 6 to 12 months to touch base with that client. That now forms a complete system. So coming at it and going, I want to build a system, it's massive. So what I do, I suggest you focus on one area at a time. So what particular process is taking you the most time or has the most roadblocks or is the most complicated one piece of your business that needs some simplification, okay? Administration, output is usually the easiest because it's based on compliance. The way you send the invoice is typically exactly the same as the way you send an invoice. The way you do payroll, although the amounts might change, is typically the exact same process. So anything that's usually in output has a very clear step-by-step of how we do it here. Moving into operations, there will be clear processes there too. So depending on where you want to focus is really dependent on what is the biggest roadblock for you right now. Now, for me, there's two ways to break down how am I going to break down the process. There's two ways to think about this. There's a thing I like to call process-based thinking, where you start at the beginning and you start mapping out every step as you go. So we'll start at the beginning. A lead comes in, word of mouth, signage, social, Google ad, friend, comes in the business. What's the next step? You take their details. Name, first name, last name, email, phone number, job address, scope of work, and when they want it done. That's step one of the process. Step two is contact them, discuss when you can go out there and get the measure up done, take more details. Step two, you rock up the site. You measure. You ask qualifying questions. You ask lots of questions to find out exactly why they want it done and what is the outcome that they want. There's a process in there. Then there's a process when it gets to delivering the offer, the proposal, the quote, the price. There's a process there. Then you will probably want to have a follow-up process. What happens? When? When I send it. I follow up at day 3, 7, 14, 21, whatever happens to be. We have some email automations. Whatever happens to them, we close it off at day 30, 60, 90, whatever it is. That becomes the next process, okay? So that's process-based thinking. I'm going to map it out in advance and then try and get my ducks in a row, and then I'm going to come back and execute. That's what I like to call process-based thinking. And the whole purpose of this is so you can map out what are the steps before you put it into a bigger system. The other way of thinking is more in line with the way I like to fix problems, is outcome-based thinking. So we've got process-based thinking, which is starting here, put my ducks in a row and going, and trying to work it out as I go along, versus outcome-based thinking. Okay, for this particular workflow, for this particular process, what is the outcome that I'm trying to achieve? An example, let's go back over here. So when the lead comes in, okay, what is your outcome? For me, the outcome is to determine, am I the right fit for this person? Can I help them sooner rather than later? That's the outcome I want from all the information that I want. I know we're not going to get name, phone number, email, address, but the whole purpose is for me to understand, can I be of service to you? And are we the right fit? The next step is when we go out to site. We've ticked that off. We go, great, we're the right fit. Let's move forward. We go out to site. For me, the outcome when we're on site is not a quote. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not, and you're not, in the quoting business. I'm in the delivering of painting service business, and I trust you are in the delivering of painting services business. So the outcome while I'm on site is to determine exactly what is the outcome that they want. What does this person actually truly want? Can I help them achieve that? Make sure I align what we can do with what they want, build enough contrast between where they are and where they want to go, and then provide them an offer to get them what they want in exchange for money. So my outcome is to see if we're the right fit and win the job. That's the outcome. My outcome is not to do a quote. I'm very clear on that, but you might not be, but that's fine. So if we just stay in that zone, can you see how one version was, I'm going to try and map it out in advance what the next step's going to be, process-based thinking, and option 2 was, I'm going to focus on whatever activities I do here, what is the outcome I'm aiming for? There's no right or wrong. Just two ways of thinking of the same problem. Ducks in a row, or have a crack and see what works. For me, the have a crack, see what works is faster feedback. I'm just after feedback in real time is this thing working? If I can determine that By having qualifying questions, the right qualifying questions, I can determine that I'm the right fit or not for this person before I go out there. Then I know that outcome is working. Then I'll reverse engineer the steps that got me to that outcome, and that becomes the process. So I go back to front. I go outcome first, and then only include the activities or steps that get me the outcome, versus I'm going to try and predict what the steps are and hope it works, and then come back and correct. Like I said, they both get you where you want to go. For me, outcome-based thinking gets you there faster, because you will only do the actions that get you the outcome, versus when you're process-based thinking, you're focusing on the process, not on the outcome. It's like you want to grow your business. You can't focus on growing. You're going to focus on getting better at one particular area or two particular areas of your business. If you focus on growing, there's no actions for focusing on growing. The activity is focusing on getting better. So if you get better at sales, or if you get better at pricing, or if you get better at performance and hitting targets, or if you get better at managing your pipeline, the result is you will grow. Same with my understanding with process-based thinking and the outcome-based thinking. If I focus on the outcome of that activity, then I am going to be focusing on the actions that get me that outcome, versus if I focus on the steps, I'm focusing on the wrong parts of the puzzle. Long story short, the advantages of building step-by-step workflow or process, I don't want to overcomplicate this, it's just another way of saying, I want to go in that direction, and these are the things we're going to do, and all things need to line in this way, because we want a predictable way that if we do this and this, we get this result. And then that way you can give that to someone else. You can delegate it, or you can train someone else to do it. And if you stack workflows or processes within your business, then you create the system. Now, the advantage of slowing it down and mapping out what is your process or what is the workflow for a particular area of your business is, once you've done that and you know what it achieves and what the outcome is, and it is the outcome that you want, then you just go and find a way to leverage it. So then you go, okay, this thing works. How do I take what we do and put it into something that can do it on autopilot without me? Meaning, where can I add some automation? What software can I use? An example would be Xero. Xero is accounting-based software that allows us to do more with less time. Just quickly, guys, if you're a painting business owner and you're overworked, overwhelmed, and underpaid, we can help. Hit the link below in the show notes to learn more. Now back to the episode. There's so many different tools out there that can help you in your business. But if you haven't done this process before, and if I have a process, I need a document, it has to be out of my head, because if it's in my head, guess what? Everyone comes to you to ask you questions because they don't know what the process is. Slowing down and documenting that process, although frustrating, I've done it many times, although frustrating if you have no patience, provides so much clarity on what's working and what's not working, but more importantly, gives you the ability to hand it over to someone else. I'll give you a real world example. Recently, 2 months ago, we required some additional help in the business, right? Now, this person was going to be in charge of running our email marketing system. So we use a tool for managing emails for existing leads, existing clients, managing previous clients, and finding new clients, managing the whole ecosystem of talking to people via email. Now, I understood that we didn't actually have a process for that. It was all in my head. And the reason why we wanted to bring this person on is to free my head up and my space up in those two businesses. So for the first 2 weeks, I spent with this individual mapping out the process, like literally mapping out step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, drew it out, little box, literally mapping out step by step, every step of the process. We use a tool called Lucid Charts, a box, an action activity, and a link to some training or a drive folder. that led to another box. So you could map out every single step of the process. There's a process in every part of your business. Now, I'm a little bit OCD, so I spent a lot of time doing this. So I mapped it out with her. Then I got her to review it and do it without me. Check that it worked for her, add notes. By the end of the second week, we mapped out in detail with video training and links to the activities of how to take a new person into the system, take all our content, put it in from all the different channels, schedule, write the emails, and manage that whole process. Now that used to take me at least a day a week on average. Now I'm out. So 8 hours a week, I have my time back. By 40 weeks a year, 8 falls at 32, 320 hours. That's a lot of hours I brought back from that. So the importance, so the reason why I'm sharing that, the importance of spending time mapping out your process. And this is where a lot of business owners fall down. They start building the process that they want. And I get it. You're trying to go, what if we do this? What if we try this? What if we try that? Unfortunately, if you jump ahead too far, you are changing what already works, hoping that this new thing is going to improve. You are far better off just documenting exactly what you do step by step, no matter how simple it is. Because by doing that, you create something that's outside of your head, that's out in the real world, that you can give to somebody else to do. Even if you do it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Then, and only then, you can identify parts of that process. What can we improve right now? Long story short, having a process or stack of processes or bunch of processes in your business that create the entire system is the most valuable part of your business. Because a business, for me, the definition is a commercial enterprise that runs without you. The only way it can run without you is if it's not in your head and it's documented somewhere so other people or technology, a process can be run to give someone a predictable result. So more than likely, if you're thinking about, I need to build systems, I have lack of clarity, I need to get this out of my head, I encourage you to do it. Focus on building parts of your business. Figure out what is the right now in your business, what is sucking in the most amount of time, build a process around that. Is it in admin? Is it in operations? Is it in quote delivery? I would pick the easiest one first. Pick quotes. Build or document or write down the exact process that you do right now. And when I say process, I just mean what are the step-by-step things that you do in your business right now from when a lead or client comes in to when a quote gets done. Not just take a call, go see the client, send a quote, follow-up quote. No, there's heaps more going on right now. Step-by-step process. Do you measure? Do you work out time and materials? How do you do it? Do you have a sheet? Do you have an iPad? Do you have a spreadsheet? Do you take a calculator? Do you use job management software? Break it down exactly how you're going to do it now, because what you would do by doing that, when you see it up there, you go, wow, I'm duplicating a few steps here. How can I get the same outcome? Because remember, you're not in the quoting business, you're in the delivering of sale of painting services business. Remember, you're not in the quoting business, you're in the delivery of sale. Remember, you're not in the quoting business, you're in the delivering of painting services. So focusing on doing quotes is not the outcome for you. Focusing on, are they the right fit for you? Can you be of service? Are you the best fit for them? Get the job and do it for them. That is the complete outcome. So what are all the steps in your current process that you're doing? Eliminate the ones that are adding no value, keep the ones that are, test, and keep checking if they're working. Eventually, you will nail what is your process for leads coming in and winning jobs. That's just an example. So processes and a system in a business is such a massive topic, but if you break it down to its core fundamentals and core functions in your painting business, input, throughput, output. One of those three areas, which of those three areas has the most friction for you, or has the least amount of value for you, or can you speed up and systemize the quickest? Focus on that one first. If you get stuck, get a whiteboard, get a big piece of flip chart paper. Map out step by step. I do this, and then I do this, and I do this, and then go and do it and see what happens. Do it again, and after a while you go, okay, there's a pattern here. I seem to do the same thing. Whether it's I create the quote, I talk to the person, I handle objections, I deliver the value while I'm there and try and sell it on the spot, or I have a follow-up system. Whatever happens to be, you are going to inherently work out what are the things that are working, what isn't working, how can I do that at speed? Cool? Cool. Having processes, having structure is the way to get control of your business. It gets everything out of your head, enables you to see things, what's working, but more importantly, it builds the business so it can run without you. All right, stay cool, be well, subscribe, and see you on the interwebs. Bye. Hey guys, if you got value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss expert tips. If you want some support, check out the link in the show notes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to follow us on socials @PainterCoach. Stay cool, be well, and as usual, see you on the interwebs. Bye.